Hello and welcome. In this video, we're exploring one of the most powerful intellectual revivals of our era, modern Stoicism. Imagine a 2,300-year-old philosophy not just surviving, but exploding in popularity across social media, Fortune 500 boardrooms, and everyday lives worldwide. This isn't about dusty textbooks, it's about a dynamic toolkit for navigating the chaos of the 21st century. We'll uncover how ancient principles are helping millions master stress, build resilience, and find purpose in our hyper-connected, anxiety-inducing world. Buckle up for a journey from Roman emperors to tech CEOs, from concentration camps to the digital frontier. Let's start with the basics. Modern Stoicism isn't your great-grandfather's philosophy lecture. It's a vibrant, global movement actively reinterpreting Greco-Roman wisdom for contemporary challenges. Unlike its 17th-century cousin Neo-Stoicism, today's version cuts through noise by emphasizing one razor-sharp distinction: what we control versus what we don't. Your thoughts, reactions, and actions, controllable. External events, other people's opinions, or global pandemics, not so much. This core insight frees us from exhausting battles against the inevitable, channeling energy where it truly matters. But there's more. Stoicism's beating heart lies in its four cardinal virtues. Practical wisdom guides decision-making. Justice shapes our interactions. Courage fuels action amid fear. Temperance maintains balance. Together, they forge an art of living that's neither passive nor emotionless. Crucially, modern Stoicism dispels a stubborn myth. It doesn't demand suppressing feelings. Instead, it teaches us to dissect emotions, understanding their roots, managing their impact, and responding with intention rather than impulse. Think of it as emotional judo. Why now? The timing is explosive. During COVID-19's peak, Stoicism became a psychological lifeline. Sales of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations surged 28% in print, while Seneca's letters saw a jaw-dropping 356% spike in ebooks. Online, Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, witnessed 400% growth in Stoicism content. The Daily Stoic Instagram now inspires 1.8 million followers, and over 100,000 active community members dissect texts like digital-era philosophers. Young professionals are driving a 34% interest since 2020, seeking structure in unstable times. Look around and you'll spot Stoic principles in unexpected places. Tech giants like Slack CEO Stuart Butterfield and former Twitter head Jack Dorsey use it to maintain clarity under pressure. NFL legend Tom Brady employed Stoic focus to dominate fourth-quarter comebacks. Human rights activist Yeonmi Park channels Stoic courage daily, confronting tyranny after escaping North Korea. Even pop culture icons like Peaky Blinders' Thomas Shelby showcase icy composure in chaos. Historical figures prove its timeless power. Viktor Frankl, who found meaning in Auschwitz, and POW James Stockdale, who credited Epictetus for surviving 7 years in Vietnam's Hanoi Hilton. So, what's in it for you? Modern Stoicism offers concrete tools: negative visualization, imagining worst cases to reduce anxiety, voluntary discomfort, building resilience through challenge, and daily reflection, journaling insights like Marcus Aurelius. It trains you to reframe adversity as fuel for growth, embracing amor fati, love of fate, rather than resisting reality. In workplaces drowning in notifications, it sharpens focus. For relationships strained by polarization, it fosters empathy. Amid climate crises and AI disruption, it grounds us in ethics and agency. As we dive deeper, remember, this isn't about becoming unfeeling statues. It's about transforming overwhelm into opportunity, one reasoned choice at a time. Ready to turn ancient wisdom into modern superpowers? Let's begin. Now that we've seen why Stoicism is experiencing such a powerful resurgence, let's roll up our sleeves and explore exactly how these ancient principles function as practical psychological tools in contemporary chaos. Think of Stoicism less as abstract theory and more as a mental operating system, one designed to optimize decision-making when the world feels like it's buffering uncontrollably. At its core, this philosophy offers executable protocols for emotional regulation, but unlike fleeting self-help hacks, its methods are deeply rooted in cognitive restructuring. Consider the practice of negative visualization, which many misunderstand as pessimistic navel-gazing. In reality, it's a strategic stress test for the psyche. By deliberately envisioning worst-case scenarios, losing your job, a relationship ending, even personal illness, you accomplish two critical things. First, you defang anxiety through exposure therapy, realizing you possess inner resources to handle adversity. Second, you cultivate profound gratitude for your present circumstances. Modern psychotherapists recognize this as premeditator malorum, a precursor to cognitive behavioral therapy that neuroscientists confirm reduces amygdala reactivity to threats by making uncertainty feel familiar rather than terrifying. Equally vital is the discipline of dichotomy of control, which acts as your daily mental filter. Picture scrolling through news filled with political scandals, environmental disasters, or workplace gossip. A Stoic doesn't ignore these realities, but immediately categorizes them. This is outside my direct sphere of influence. By consciously redirecting attention to what's actionable, your attitude, your preparation, your next ethical choice, you conserve cognitive bandwidth. Tech workers exemplify this. Engineers at companies like Google apply it by focusing solely on code they can optimize during system outages, rather than fixating on external server failures they can't immediately repair. This isn't passivity, it's tactical resource allocation for your nervous system. Studies of emergency responders show those trained in controlled dichotomy techniques demonstrate 40% faster decision-making in crises because they bypass rumination loops. The Stoic journaling tradition, epitomized by Marcus Aurelius's nightly reflections, has evolved into evidence-backed emotional processing. Modern practitioners spend just 10 minutes daily dissecting experiences through 3 lenses. What did I try to control unnecessarily? Where did I act against my virtues? What can I improve tomorrow? This structured introspection physically rewires the brain. MRI scans reveal regular journalers develop thicker prefrontal cortices, strengthening executive function. Apps like Stoic.now gamify this with prompts analyzing setbacks through Seneca's physics of emotion, teaching users to trace anger or envy to underlying judgments they can recalibrate. Even corporate leadership programs integrate evening reflections to combat burnout. Microsoft managers report 30% reductions in stress after adopting Stoic journaling to detach from toxic productivity myths. But perhaps Stoicism's most revolutionary modern mechanic is amor fati, the radical embrace of fate. This isn't resignation, but creative engagement with reality's raw materials. When activist Cleo Wade navigates online harassment campaigns, she applies this by transforming hate comments into poetry about resilience. Athletes like NBA coach Eric Spoelstra use it during playoff losses by treating defeats as data for reinvention rather than personal failures. Modern psych research validates this. Individuals practicing amor fati show 50% higher post-traumatic growth scores because they reinterpret obstacles as training grounds for virtues. Crucially, this mindset combats digital age overwhelm. When bombarded by algorithmic outrage or comparison traps, amor fati anchors you in purposeful acceptance. This is my current reality. How do I move forward with agency? Critically, modern Stoicism dismantles the emotionless robot stereotype through its sophisticated understanding of affective neuroscience. Stoics distinguish between automatic physiological reactions, like the flush of anger when insulted, and the secondary judgments that escalate emotions into suffering. The practice trains you to insert a mental pause between stimulus and response, creating space to align reactions with values. Therapists blend this with GBT skills, teaching clients to observe emotions like weather patterns, temporary phenomena to navigate rather than identities to become. Firefighters using these techniques describe anxiety during rescue operations as biological signals for heightened awareness, not enemies to suppress. This emotional agility makes Stoicism uniquely equipped for polarized times, fostering dialogues where differing views become opportunities for exercising justice and wisdom instead of triggers for tribal combat. As workplaces integrate 4-day weeks and AI disruption accelerates, Stoicism's voluntary discomfort exercises gain new urgency. Deliberately choosing cold showers, digital fasts, or difficult conversations builds anti-fragility, proven to enhance neuroplasticity by triggering mild stressors that fortify neural pathways. Silicon Valley Stoic labs run resilience sprints where engineers troubleshoot projects with intentional resource constraints, mirroring Epictetus's poverty simulations. Ultimately, these mechanics converge into what psychologist Donald Robertson calls Stoic fitness, a daily strengthening of the mind's immune system against the viruses of distraction, despair, and entitlement. By practicing these protocols consistently, you're not just reading philosophy, you're installing cognitive armor for the 21st century's relentless demands.